the Lehigh game?
Yeah, I think we, got to give Lehigh all the credit in the world. I've known Addie a long, long time, and I know her preparation and her ability to make sure her kids are ready to play is always going to be there, right? I've coached against her. I competed against her years ago, and, she's done a wonderful job there. They have 7-8 kids from top to bottom that can all shoot the three. We knew that was going to be a source of contention for us. But where they hurt us was when we closed out on the three, they got some penetration and were able to distribute for each other. But I think really where they hurt us the most is they cut so hard that it creates havoc for you defensively. But I thought down the stretch our kids, we haven't worked on our 2 defense in a long time. It's just something we kind of moved away from, and I threw it on them and they were ready to go. And I thought we did a really good job in our pressure, our red to 2, and we did a good job just kind of adjusting and fighting until the end, which I tell you guys every game, I have no doubt that this group will fight and they'll compete. And I got to give these guys credit. Maddie, I was really tough on her last game. There's no doubt about it. And I'm tough on her for a lot of reasons, but mainly because I know how good she can be. And I thought today she really just kind of tried to will us to get something going offensively, right? And Lau's starting to really come into her playing shape again. Her IQ is probably the highest on the team, her and Anna. And, they see things and they're not afraid to communicate it with the group. So, I got to give these 2 credit because they really tried to put us on their back and put us in areas to try to fight back there.
Lau and Maddie, can you both talk to the chemistry that you have, especially on the reverse that you had, Lau, there later in the game? I see the smile on your face.
Yeah, it's just nice to. Sorry, I don't know. I'm always a passer first, and I love setting my teammates up, but it's also nice when they can set me up, so it's always good. Thanks, Maddie.
Honestly, I had a feeling Lau hadn't gotten one all day, so I figured she was about to cut back door, and then, she called for it, so my eyes immediately went to her, so yeah.
So, Coach, Lehigh have excelled offensively all season. I just want to, what specifically about their spacing tonight, made them so hard to defend from beyond the arc tonight?
I think because all 5 kids at any given time are a threat. That's hard to guard. There's other teams where we've been able to, have somebody be a little bit more in the help. Against these guys, you can't help, and every one of them can shoot the three, which, I tell our staff all the time, like as we're out recruiting, that's something, at our level, if you have kids that can make shots, it really creates havoc. And our kids do a good job, too, offensively. It was just they had 5 kids at all times that could really knock it down, and ultimately I think if you look at their spacing and their cutting, that's really what hurt us. They spread the floor so well, and it really kind of put us on our heels. So.
And just following that up, you guys are back on the road on Saturday versus Army. What are the plans for getting the team back on track for that game in New York?
Yeah, we're gonna try to rest some bodies tomorrow. We typically do some light shooting and lift, and then get after it on Friday. We'll prepare them really hard on Friday for Army. We'll watch some film. We'll watch that last couple minutes back where we closed the gap against Army and see how we could be better in those last few minutes. But yeah, these guys are always prepared. I told them to get off the floor tomorrow. I'm sure many of them will be in here shooting and getting reps in with the staff, but sometimes walking away and stepping away for a day to rest your body is really what's needed. So we got to see what's best for them. It's a long ride up to Army, but we'll be prepared. I think we're always prepared. We were prepared tonight. They were just a much better team at executing their offense and running and they put us on our heels defensively too.
Coach, you spoke on the fight that this team has, and we've seen that throughout the season, especially tonight when Lehigh was able to extend that lead. Early on, I talked about Maddie, you just being able to get to that free throw line. You had 8 attempts tonight. You had a lot of aggression, and all of you showed like a relentless effort to not give up. So, Maddie, can you talk about like what your mindset was heading into this game?
Honestly, to just finally play my game, but also they were playing really aggressive, so they were playing aggressive, but they weren't necessarily like cutting off the drive. So just knowing that I could get to the drive, and even with my drive, forcing them on their heels, and eventually like my teammates would be open because they were honestly in the right spots. It's just I kind of was shooting the ball a little bit today, but yeah.
And Lau, as an upperclassman on this team, what was your message to this team as you noticed Lehigh starting to increase that lead?
I think in the 4 years that I've been here, Lehigh has always been a very tough team to play because they shoot so well that you have to have your A game on the one-on-one, because at the minimal time that you need a help, they're just gonna make a three. So I was just trying to encourage them to have their best one-on-one defense and trust each other, and just like be aggressive on offense, because that's what's gonna be helping us to stay in the game. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I think we have a group that fights a lot and never gives up. Even if we're down 20, 55, like, it doesn't matter. We just keep fighting, and that's what I love about this group.
All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, sorry.
Oh, one more.
For any of you student athletes or coach, tonight Black History Month celebration, and you have so many different celebrations throughout the season. How does that help you as a team come together to celebrate and honor different good causes, not just on the court, but across the university as a whole?
I'll start. I talked to these guys in the locker room before the game. You know, we do a really good job here of having a lot of different causes, but I don't want us to lose sight of what each individual game has really meant. And, you know, today we talked about uplifting others, right? And not everybody is treated equally. We know that, right, from top to bottom. And I think we need to realize that we have the power, and these young ladies have the power to uplift others, right? And go back to Saturday with the Women in Sport Day. They did a phenomenal job. Tonight, you know, amplifying voices that don't get to be amplified as much as we'd love them to be, right? But that's up to us to be able to step out of our comfort zone, step out of ourselves, to be able to amplify the voices that deserve to be amplified, right? And you know, obviously we have a great group of kids, but not all the time they're aware of what's going on around them, right? And I try to encourage them to be in tune with what's going on in the world and really taking an interest in other people, because it's important, right? And you know, I thought tonight, you know, our kids, hopefully they're taking something away from each of these initiatives that we have.
Yeah, I think we have a group with a lot of different identities, and I think it's very important that AU is giving us a space to celebrate them, and also, even if it's the smallest thing, like wearing a t-shirt during the warm-ups, that's already celebrating, and just giving some view for the people who are watching us, or even for the people who don't know who we are. It's just showing that we care about our team's identities, even if it's a small thing. So I always like to wear a t-shirt.
I think that it shows to, like, the people that are watching us that people that you're looking up to do care, and they care about you, even if you look different from them. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.